at a certain point, it was like, I don't want to just photograph neon signs. I want to actually climb up there and get my hands on them,
That was Al Barna of SF Neon. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco, a podcast about artists, activists, and working people who make this city what it is. Welcome to part 2 of our episode about SF Neon. If you missed part 1, please check that out. In this podcast, Al and his partner Randall talk about all the things they do for neon signs and how it all got started. A reminder that the several neighborhood neon walking tours that they offer are best this time of year, thanks to the night starting earlier. If you're interested in taking one, head over to sfneon.org for more info and to sign up. Here's Al Barna and Randall and Homan of SF Neon.
So when we started to notice signs disappearing, we decided to archive or catalog the remaining neon signs in the city.
And we had to learn how to photograph them at night because, it's so easy for the color just to be blown out. Or if you use a flash, then you only see the light and you don't see the background at all. And what we realized we really wanted for the quality of this book was where you see the definition of the tube, but you also see the glow against the painting on the back of the sign, which is what makes neon signs so different than any other sign, is the way the light shines on the back as well as forward as well as sideways. It shines all the way around the tube.
Yep.
No other light really does that in the same way.
It's like it's depth, it's dimension, it's texture, it's
Not
like
to
all the
mention
things.
that it's alive, just in a Frankenstein kind of way, right?
So that took us 5 years to photograph as many, if not all, the signs we knew about
We
in
had
San
to
Francisco.
find them, and then we had to get good photographs of them when they were working.
Right. Was the goal from this outset to make a book, or?
Yes, because I was also used to design books at HarperCollins and for 10-Speed Press. So I knew how to design a book and get it to the printer, and I knew all about packaging. And I had also designed books for Oakland Public Library. It's just something I knew how to do. And we thought, let's find a publisher. And so I also knew how to do a book proposal. And I had friends in publishing, and everybody said, 200-page book, all colored, no one wants to publish that. And so I looked at Al and I said, I know how to do this. All we really need is the money. And that's right when Kickstarter was new.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't full of junk yet.
Right.
There's no joke on Kickstarter. Yeah, so Randall talked me into it, and we did a Kickstarter. And within 2 weeks, we actually exceeded our goal.
Oh, wow.
We had no idea there were
was
that many
this?
people. 2013?
It was the spring of 2014. No, it all happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had no idea there were so many people who were actually interested in neon. We got donations from people all over the world.
Oh, wow.
We were really floored, actually.
Yeah.
Because for us, it had sort of been a closet project. We didn't talk about it a lot.
We thought we were the only people who
I was
cared.
going to say, it's that thing where you
Yeah.
feel like you're the only one who is borderline obsessed, or just that's your thing, and then you're like, and then you find community.
Well, that's the thing is we got
wonderful.
so much more than the seed money. We got a community and made really good friends.
Right.
In different cities, and then now we all encourage each other to advocate to save these signs. Like we actually have a network.
Right.
Yeah, whereas everyone was kind of working in silos, not aware of other people putting out the same kind of effort, we were able to make those connections. And now that we do an annual symposium and festival, we can get all those people together so they share information, they share their expertise and their knowledge, even to the point of how to navigate building codes and working with your municipalities to preserve neon signs.
That's granular. That's deep.
Well, neon people can get pretty granular, which is fun.
I love it. When you mention other cities, folks in other cities, obviously San Francisco has the best neon. There's no argument there. But maybe what's your second favorite city for neon?
Well, it's actually, San Francisco really is one of the best cities because there's neighborhoods that haven't been developed, as much as we get so upset when they develop neighborhoods, and also everything's close together. But if I had to pick a second neon city, would you say Denver?
Denver, Portland, Oregon, Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Portland has that big one right on the river, right?
Yeah, it used to
Made
be
in
the
Portland.
White Stag, but now it says Portland.
And then Livingston,
Oregon.
Montana has great
Yeah.
neon. for a
Livingston,
small town.
Montana. Never heard of it.
Reno
has neon and
But
Over the street, right?
yeah,
the
the
arch.
arch. But Los Angeles has so much too. But it's neighborhoods are like their own cities
Right.
in LA, and of
Right.
course they have the Museum of Neon Art in Glendale, which is doing an amazing job of saving, restoring, keeping the neon power going.
That's great. Yeah, LA. I'll give it some neon. Also, their diner scene is better than
Yeah.
probably because of car culture.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
more space. They just have it. We used to have good diners.
you've got Norms and Pans. There's
God, there's so many good
a lot
diners
of
down
good
there.
late night places.
Yeah.
If you don't know about this website by Deborah Jane Seltzer called Roadside Architecture, she documents neon side and programmatic architecture in every state except Hawaii and Alaska. And so she's got data that says most of the old neon signs are in California.
Amazing.
This is where they are. And some of that has to be the weather.
She's got the pie chart to prove it.
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
And so, yeah, roadarch.com is huge. It's and
Highly recommend her site. It's
yeah, she goes back and visits and she goes back to visit cities every 2 or 3 years, and so she updates her site. It's not
Amazing.
frozen in time.
Amazing. I'll definitely put that in show notes for this episode. Okay, so the book comes out 2014.
Yeah, and we thought, okay, we got to have a really big book launch,
Obviously.
and we had a little contest on Instagram for our kind of local followers. What sign should be on the cover?
Oh,
And the Verdi Club won hands down.
wow.
And we
I never
thought,
would have guessed. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're like, could we do this at the Verdi Club? And Jason Mulvaney, who is the event manager there, was like, of course we want to have this here, and just came way down to our budget. And we had 300 people show up for a book launch. And that blew our minds. That was pretty fun.
and we had a jazz band as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of an out-of-body experience. We had no idea, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And then we realized we needed to promote the book a little more than just our immediate friends and family.
Right.
And
That's when the real work starts.
yeah, so
After
we,
the party. First things first.
Yeah.
so we decided to do a neon tour.
Okay.
Maybe like a one-off. And the first one we did where we actually sold tickets to the public was in Chinatown.
Okay.
And the first 3 people who arrived to take the tour were a little early. So I asked them what they did for a living, just some small talk. And all 3 of them in unison said, "We're tube benders."
Oh,
So they made neon signs, and we, thank goodness they came on that first tour. It was Shauna Peterson, Lemmy Cahill, and Parrish. I forget Parrish's last name. But anyways, they taught us so much on that first tour, and we've been learning from them ever since.
amazing.
We've
As-
been beholden to them ever since.
Yeah, and as well as, they said go down to Jim Rizzo's shop because he's got this amazing collection of neon signs. And Jim has been teaching us about neon and
Ever since.
and including us in his restoration projects. So we really do get involved, which is what we're here for.
Yeah, it's, at a certain point, it was like, I don't want to just photograph neon signs. I want to actually climb up there and get my hands on them. And with Jim, I get that opportunity occasionally.
So that tour, though, where you met them, that was for the book.
Yeah, to promote the
Obviously,
book.
a tour of Neon, but for the book. Is that kind of the kernel of doing the tours? Is that where that started, or?
We could go back to this or not, but it's a great name, the Society for Experiential Graphic Design, which is an international society. We're having a conference in San Francisco,
Okay.
and they asked us if we could give a tour as like a little extra add-on to their conference. And so we were so excited to do that. I wanted to walk around with other graphic designers, but we made the mistake of thinking a 3-hour tour would...
Isn't that the Gilligan's Island?
Yeah.
We started in a bar, which was a bad idea.
And this, and
Yeah.
so this often happens if we get a little too close to a pizza joint or a really great bar, we might lose a few. And but that's exactly what, in some ways, we want to happen, because our tours are so much about the good places to go in San Francisco that also have a neon sign. Like, that's the trifecta.
The good neighborhoods,
Yeah.
which will have neon and
Yeah.
probably good bars and pizza.
Exactly.
You know, Randall, you reminded me when we did that tour for the Society of whatever you call it.
Experiential graphic design.
We also, after the tour, we did a talk, right? And during the talk, we kind of went on a little tirade about how much we hated LED as a sign material, and found out later that the whole event was sponsored by an LED company.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that. I love
we
that.
got our wires crossed.
So if it wasn't the book tour, how did the tours you do now, how did that come about?
Well, people who bought the book wanted to go walk around the city with us. We thought, wait a minute, that doesn't work that way. We're supposed to do tours so we can sell books to people. And then we realized,
They already bought the book.
We'd have to carry the books
Yeah,
around.
they get heavy.
And so whereas a lot of authors will do tours and then try to sell books, for us it's the opposite.
Right.
People who bought the book really would reach out to us, and people who were also part of the Kickstarter
Right.
would say, hey, we want to come walk around, you guys should do a tour. And like, you know, at the beginning we thought, well, we're not
Tour guides.
We
Yeah.
don't really know how to do this. But then what started happening is that real tour guides were very interested in this topic of neon and small legacy businesses. So a lot of professional tour guides started taking our tour to learn the content, which we wanted them to know, so they could, and then they would tell us, like, you might want to do this, or you might want to stand over there, or
Don't turn your back on the audience.
That's a big one, right? Yeah.
I love it because everyone's learning from each other. They're learning about neon, you're learning about tour guides.
Yeah. And then we kept asking ourselves, wait a minute, we're photographers, graphic designers, authors, why are we doing tours? And we realized, what an opportunity that we get to be out at twilight in our city with other San Franciscans, because it's not a tour for tourists. They don't care.
They're welcome.
They're welcome.
But we rarely see them.
Yeah, they're absolutely welcome. But really, it's people who are wanting to find out about a neighborhood they don't live in, and some people don't really want to walk around a neighborhood by themselves, and some people don't want to just go to a restaurant and go home. They actually want to find out more about a neighborhood.
Yep.
And that's who we see on our tours.
Yeah.
And we get returnees, actually, which is really
interesting.
nice. We have people who will come out on every tour, and then some of them will come out on the same tours again. And
In the same neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
So the tours are also really an important tool for us in regards to preservation, because it makes people aware of what's in the built environment here, and they actually contribute a lot to the preservation efforts.
The city cares. When we go to the city and say this, we try to advocate for grants in the lower income neighborhoods. There are sometimes storefront improvement grants. And, the people who work for the city agencies would be like, really, people care about neon? We're like, actually, they do. We do as many tours as we can a year, and everyone sells out. And people now we do, 7, 8 different tours. I mean, that's how much neon San Francisco has. And people really like to take, 6 or 7 tours. That might take them a couple of years to do them.
Right.
And then they want a prize when when they've taken 6
It's
tours.
like the punch card, right? I mean, you get enough punches.
We give them the little 9-mile
Yes,
pin.
you do.
Because every tour is a mile and a half, and after 6 tours, that's 9 miles of neon.
I love it. So I think now would be a good time for you all to plug your book. How do people find it? Plug the tours. How do people sign up? How do we find you online? How do we find you on social media? That kind of thing.
Well, luckily we can have a really short web address, which is SF for San Francisco, sfneon.org.
Boom.
Find us there. And we always list the next 4 or 5 tours. They sell out fast, so you kind of got to plan ahead. But you'll also find our first book that we put out, which is San Francisco Neon Survivors and Lost Icons. And that's the big book of all the different neighborhoods in the city. But we've also kind of gotten to the publishing business, I guess. We've published other neon titles. If you need room on your neon bookshelf or your San Francisco bookshelf, we can help you out. But the next big project that we did was to get in touch with that network and find out how everybody else in the country was restoring neon signs. And we put together the book Saving Neon, and we did that with a grant from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. So that's
Amazing.
a pretty big logo to be able to put on that book.
Yeah.
And it's not really for neon people who do neon. It's for people who have a neon sign in their community and they want to save it and they don't know how. And that's exactly what that book is for.
That was you in the mission, going
That
back
was
to
us,
your origin
exactly.
story. Yeah,
Going back to that. And then we also were really lucky to be able to do a book with the San Francisco Public Library. We went through the History Center and found the best photos of San Francisco neon signs
Amazing.
that are no longer with us.
Some in black and white, even.
A lot of black and white.
Yeah.
There's
Still glowing though.
Yeah, and then we mixed it with the most iconic signs in color that we photographed, and that was an exhibition that we did there. So there's a catalog for that exhibition.
And for that project, we also worked with the photo archive of the SFMTA.
Okay.
Which San Francisco Muni,
Yeah.
which has an amazing photographic archive.
Yeah.
And when you think about it,
I've seen some of that.
all of the transit photos have signs in the background. That's what somebody said, that if you really want to look up old signs in an archive, either type in parade or bus line, and you'll see signs in the background. So that's a tip.
That makes a lot of sense.
So our red book, the San Francisco Neon Survivors and Lost Icons, is available. I think we're in our 4th printing now.
Oh, wow.
It's a pleasant surprise. It's available through our website, or it's also available at the Museum of Modern Arts bookstore.
And Green Apple, both on Clement and on Browser's Books on
Browser's
Fillmore.
on Fillmore.
And it kind of amazes us that this little red book has sold continually at those places for 10 years.
It's incredible.
Yeah, they've been very good to us, those bookstores.
Yeah.
But there's 2 other books that we have published recently because we can't stop. And that is, we worked with a great couple in Los Angeles, Didier DeLizer and Paul Greenstein, who are great neon historians and sign savers. And that's a great book called Neon: A Light History. So if you want the backstory, it's all there.
Okay.
And then just this year we published what we hope to do for other cities too, a guidebook of Petaluma, California, and the old signs, the old vintage signs, neon and ghost signs, and fantastic plastic signs. And so we love to get involved with other people who have sign projects in other cities, like Portland, like Denver, like Reno, and now Petaluma is one of the most really kind of thriving, exciting small towns in California that still has that great vintage feel and great architecture.
A lot of deco, as we talked about last week.
And a lot of old signs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we work with Catherine Reinhardt there. She is the architectural historian.
Okay.
And she's raising money for the hatchery chick sign. And we're working with her on that, and we're about halfway to our goal to get that chick glowing again.
She's also the director of the Petaluma Sign Project.
Oh.
Yeah, which is Petaluma Sign Project. No, Petaluma Signs Project.org.
Okay. And then there's the other thing, sort of how I was connected to you two through Katie and Alex at the Tenderloin Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And do you want to tell folks about what's in store?
Yeah, I mean that's our
space.
origin story too. Once the book was out and we started doing tours, we wanted to do more, and we wanted to do the annual conference, and we wanted to save signs because we realized who else is going to do it. And so we spoke with Mike Bueller at SF Heritage and asked him, how do we apply for grants? How do we even do this? And he said, go down to the Tenderloin Museum. There's more neon signs in the Tenderloin than any other neighborhood, and he was so right. And talk to Katie Connery and see if the Tenderloin Museum will sponsor you in a physical way so that you can apply for grants. So I kind of made a cold visit to Katie, and I walked in with my iPad and told her all about neon, and in her own Katie way looked at me and said, let's do it.
Wow.
That simple. But she got it immediately, that neon is such a big part, and the old sign such a big part of that neighborhood that no one's really paid any attention to.
Right.
And because it was zoned residential by activists in the 70s, none of those signs have come down. Mm-hmm. And so we're actually really lucky to have that collection of those kind of residential hotel signs. There's so many of them, more than any other city. Absolutely. So it's been wonderful to work with her. She gets neon right away.
Yeah.
And there's always been the problem of when a sign comes down, where does it go?
Right, what happens to it?
And Katie's like, I want them. I want all the signs.
Okay, that sounds good to us. And they're deep into an expansion project.
Yes, they are.
And
which has been covered on this podcast.
And part of that
Listeners
is going to
know.
be to open up gallery space for a neon museum.
Yes.
And we've been slowly been able to acquire signs for the Tenderloin Museum.
Actually, we don't really even acquire them. We just try to work out the donation communication. And that's,
we should clarify that and say we save signs that otherwise would disappear.
Go straight to the dumpster.
We prefer to see them in situ so the public can enjoy them. But if that's not a possibility, then we will save it and try to find a good home for it where the public will still be able to enjoy it.
Right.
So the Tenderloin Museum has always been our neon home in all this work that we've done. And Katie, Connery, and Alex Spoto down there really understand what we're doing and how it benefits the neighborhood and the whole city. So this neon gallery won't just be about the Tenderloin, because of course we want those signs to stay in the Tenderloin, but when signs have to come down anywhere in the city, we're going to do our best to keep them where they are. But if that cannot happen, then now we have a place for them to go. And so the first donation is from Tony's Cable Car Restaurant on Geary, of that beautiful cable car sign that says burgers, shakes, and fries.
Yes. And that gallery / museum gallery...
we call it the Neon Gallery.
The Neon Gallery is going to be where the museum currently resides. Is that correct?
In that space.
As they expand into the next space.
Yes, because that current gallery can be darkened, whereas the new space has a big skylight.
Yes, it does.
So that's going to be great for artifacts and educational, but the Neon Gallery is going to be in the perfect place for neon.
Awesome. All right, I think we've covered everything. Anything else you want to add while we're still rolling?
Well, tours for the holiday. It's the darker months when we do the most tours because Twilight starts so early. So if you're thinking about doing a neon tour with us, now's the time because we don't do them in the summer.
It's too cold here.
It's
Tours in
it's
summer.
too cold.
And too bright. That was Randall Ann Homan and Al Barna of SF Neon. We recorded this episode at Mario's Bohemian Cigar Store in North Beach. The next Storied San Francisco was a bonus episode. I got together with Aaron and Ange of Bitch Talk Podcast to talk all things Mission District with them and friend of both shows, HP Mendoza. That drops tomorrow wherever you get podcasts. Music for Storied San Francisco was produced, performed, and curated by Otis McDonald. Our contributing producer is Aaron Lim of Bitch Talk Podcast. And the show is produced and hosted by me, Jeff Hunt. Now in our 8th season, we have more than 280 episodes available on our website, storiedsf.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If possible, please rate and review the show. I want to know what you think. Find us on Substack for our monthly newsletter and more. And follow us on Instagram and Threads at storiedsf. Reach us there or email us at storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Try to stay hopeful in these dark times. Keep being wacky, creative, and kind out there. And we'll see you next time on Storied San Francisco. We acknowledge and respect the first humans of the unceded land we call San Francisco, the Ramaytush Ohlone. We condemn the genocide of these and other tribes across the Western Hemisphere. We honor their legacy and history, and we support rematriation and sovereignty efforts.